Right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our sneak peek event with Samantha Armstrong. And I'm incredibly excited to share Samantha's story, or actually, I'm not going to. Samantha's going to share her story. So just a little intro. So Samantha comes from a background of working for a local paint store, or a paint company actually, for nearly 6 years as a manager. She started out as a sales associate and quickly moved up the ranks and ended up managing the store. And after a while, she decided, or after a very unique event, which she's going to share, she found a way that she could work online, but at the same time still honor her values, and was able to build a mobile and digital business that aligned with her passion for living green. And now she has the time freedom and the flexibility to allow her, or that allows her to be there for her daughter's activities as well. So Samantha, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I just want you to take it away. Share a little bit about what that experience was that transitioned you, where you started from, and basically just tell us your story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. A little context to how I ended up in the corporate world was I found myself having my daughter when I was still in high school. And while I was learning how to be a parent, I was also being reminded that I need to finish school. I need to go and get into college so I can get a career and be able to support my my daughter and, you know, just like grow up. So I did that. I graduated school. I went into college. I very quickly realized that like college wasn't really my thing. So I ended up leaving it, and then I just I started looking for a job. I ultimately ended up in a part-time sales associate position for a local paint store. I was actually not even the first candidate. The original person just didn't show up. So they were like, hey, you're the next runner-up. Come on in. So I did that. And from the get-go, I was excited to learn something new. It was just part-time. But after about 15 months of working part-time, the upper management within my district was like, hey, we see what you're doing. We appreciate it. We would love for you to take the next step. So I did that, and I got myself into a manager's position, which I was thrilled about. It was more hours, more money. Why wouldn't I want it? So I got into it, and then right after I made that transition, the upper management team changed, and my new boss was like, hey, I realized you worked your way up. I can appreciate the hard work, but I'm going to need you to take out your piercings and hide your tattoos and curb your enthusiasm with your hair. Prior to having dreadlocks, I had fun colors and interesting styles. So they pretty much told me like, hey, if you want to continue to be able to do well within the company, you need to fit in this box. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I did that, and very shortly after that, I started being involved with different corporate events. So it would be like a golf outing or a national or regional sales meeting. And in every situation, again, I was reminded, hey, take out your piercings, curb your hair enthusiasm, cover up your tattoos. And again, I just did it because I got the job, I got the salary, I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do based off of what everyone was telling me. So it really wasn't like I didn't really question it for the longest time until I had gone to the first convention for my current supplier, and that's just like when everything completely changed. It was totally different than what I expected, you know. So yeah, it was different. The experience, I remember going to the whole conference, and at the end of the week they did this event, and everyone got to go to it. It was at the World Cafe. There was going to be like a concert and all sorts of fun stuff. And I, in my mind, my subconscious corporate America mind kicked in, and I was like, all right, Get your Michael Kors dress, get your little black shoes on, curl up your hair. And that's what I did. And I slowly walked down the streets and made my way to the World Cafe. And I walked in the door, and this guy that I had never even seen before, granted, this is the first time I'd done an event for my supplier. I walked in the door, and he looks at me and he goes, you don't look comfortable. And I kind of looked at him, I leaned in a little bit closer, and I gave myself like a once over. And I was like, I'm really not. I'm not comfortable. And he looked at me and said, leave, go get changed and then come back. And I was like, what? Okay, I will. So I turned around and I walked out the door, and as soon as I got out of the door, I took those ridiculous heels off, and I walked myself back to the hotel. And I go in the hotel, and I go and put my tank top on and my jean shorts and my flats, and I booked it back to that event. And it was just the emotional rush that I was feeling at the time. I was so excited just to like go back. And I walk in the door, and like I said, I'd never met this guy before, but I see him again, and he looks at me and he goes, "That's you. That is exactly how you need to present yourself. That is exactly how you need to show up. You attract your business. If you want to work with people like you, be you." And I never really had anybody say that to me. I grew up with people saying, just be yourself, be authentic. But what everyone was saying was, do that until a certain extent and then grow up and put on your corporate suit and get into corporate America, which most people say that. So I didn't think anything of it until I was given the permission from somebody I had never even met before, who could identify immediately that that was not me and I was not representing myself the way I wanted to. And at that very minute, I was just like, oh my gosh, why would I ever want to continue to conform to build somebody else's dream? I mean, I loved what I did when I was working for the paint company, but I wasn't able to do what I love to do authentically. I was given a box, and I was told to get in the box, and I could run my business to a certain way, to a certain extent, but I was never given the reins completely and just been like, run with it. And that completely changed my whole outlook on anything I'd ever known. And, for maybe 6 months, I just kind of thought about that experience, and I reminisced about it. And I remember like being back in my corporate job after convention and thinking about it. And then another month or so went by, and the next sales meeting for my corporate America job came up. And again, I was told, conform, get your little black dress, your little black shoes, curl up your hair, and look presentable for this. And I came home from that sales meeting and decided I wasn't going to do that again. I promised myself that I was not going to hide myself for anybody anymore. So I got home from the sales meeting. Shortly after that, I dreadlocked my hair, and then I quit my job, and I just jumped in with both feet. And it's been great. I would have never in a million years thought that something like this was a reality. I had heard of it, but I didn't realize that it was a thing.
It's different when you actually get the validation and the okay and the permission to just be yourself, and that is enough to grow a business. So that's huge. That's huge for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing that. Now, one thing I also want you to touch on, just where we're in the last couple minutes, is so now you're building this business, that is on your terms. You get to be be yourself. What has it done for you in your life? How has it changed how you live?
It's changed every single aspect of how I live. I no longer use an alarm clock. I don't miss activities for my daughter. I don't have to miss plays, performances, parent night, anything that I want to be involved with. I have the ability to work my schedule around that. I remember missing my niece's first birthday, and like I still kick myself because of that, because who wants to miss out on things like that, you know? I don't. I didn't, and I did because I was helping somebody else build their dreams. So this business opportunity has been so worth it. The personal growth that I've gone through, the fact that I don't have to miss anything, I couldn't ask for anything better. You know, it's really a dream come true to be able to live every day exactly how I want to, on my terms, around my schedule.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And one last thing I really want you to touch on. So as you're doing this now, you're being able to live on your own terms, enjoying something. What do you see for the future as you continue to grow your online business?
I really envision myself growing and inspiring other people to run with it, you know, to not dream small. I mean, I would have never imagined that this was a reality. Had that permission instance happened back at my first convention, I would have never thought of it. I want to be able to spread the opportunity and encourage people to build a business, whether they want a full-time or part-time income. I mean, it's empowering. It really is. And I love to share it with people. So I see myself having a nice big team very soon.
A very nice big team of dynamic people who are really getting to touch base with who they are again, and in a sense relearn how to be themselves, because I'm sure that was a little bit of a challenge at first.
Oh, absolutely. I was very used to presenting myself a certain way and conforming to the cookie cutter shape I was given. So the personal growth that I've gone through with just learning that it's okay to be me. I mean, if you've ever seen any of my videos online, I'm awkward and and just authentic all the time. And I love it. I love the beauty in bringing out the everyday life of being an entrepreneur.
That's fantastic. Well, Samantha, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, because I really feel this is one that many people can relate to. With, you know, you're in a corporate world and having to conform to what the company needs, where here you can just, within reason, well, not even within reason, but you can just step out and be yourself and attract the same, you know, those like-minded people to you. So thank you so much for sharing that. I so appreciate it. And I'm sure the people watching appreciate it as well. And so what I want to do is just invite you, if you are watching this video and you want to learn how you can create a business while being yourself and do it online, get in touch with the person who invited you to take a look at this live stream that I'm doing here with Samantha, and ask them to explore what this opportunity is all about. And you can see if this is a fit for you or not. So with that, I want to thank you so much. Thank you again, Samantha, for joining. So appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in and watching and opening yourself up to the idea of being able to work from home. With that, take care, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks with another sneak peek.